the nation shutting down and the city seems to be bleeding. So it's kind of hard to watch.
Bleeding?
Bleeding.
Bleeding out.
Bleeding out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was listening again, and I wanted to make sure that I had everything today. Oh, they did circulate this. This is I'm sorry, I'm looking at the internet at the same time, and everybody No Strings Attached has done the puppets for Governor Landry. So if y'all get a chance, go to No Strings Attached and see it for yourself. Um, but I was listening to some of the, I guess what's a good word to use? Propaganda.
Look, we're facing politics on the national stage that's preventing us from getting the nation moving in the right direction. And we are also facing politics in the state and then the city that's also preventing us from moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be political chess going on, and it's the citizens that are suffering. Um, we're the only ones that seem to be paying the price here. We have a state that's seeing an opportunity to come in and seize control of a Democratic run city, the city of New Orleans. And they're taking advantage of our misfortune in not managing our budget.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's a very serious situation. I hope people are really paying attention to it. It's a time that the state's saying if we can't manage our budget, then they can manage our destiny. And that's a very dangerous precedent for every city in Louisiana, and particularly right now, New Orleans.
Well, one of the things I had to ask you, I was going to ask you this too, to do a comparison for me and look at it and say what you thought. And what I was getting at was, do you think, and this was the question, do you think that the city made the right decision in telling the state, nah, we don't want that bond meeting?
They may not be able to turn the faucet off that easily. Under Louisiana law,
Mm-hmm.
revised statute 39:1351 through 1357, if a municipality can't meet payroll or debt obligations, the Fiscal Review Committee can recommend a state-appointed fiscal administrator. That is the law.
Right.
So whether
even though
or
that
not
they said
yes,
they can't, it
yes,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It is a legal issue
Right.
at this point. Governor Jeff Landry and State Treasurer John Fleming have both floated the idea of appointing such an administrator for New Orleans. The State Bond Commission initially threatened to block the city's $125 million loan request unless it agreed to a fiscal takeover. And facing that ultimatum, the city withdrew the loan request on October 24th to avoid losing control of its finances.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that simple, because once you have shown that you can't be a good steward with your money, that you can't meet your payroll, that you can't balance your budget, then there is a Louisiana law on the books that allows this Fiscal Review Committee and a state-appointed fiscal administrator.
And the governor has made himself pretty much well known by saying that this is what they want to do.
Absolutely.
And the Attorney General Merrill is carbon copying everything that he says.
Absolutely.
And she did not budge on this fiscal manager and said that that person would be in place indefinitely. Now, what we actually are doing, we can call it fiscal manager all we want to, but what we got basically is the person that's going to control all of the finances of the city of New Orleans.
It's a takeover.
From contracting
right.
to saying who can get hired and who's getting fired.
Once they're managing your checkbook, they're managing your destiny.
Right.
They're making all of the decisions with respect to city contracts, vendors, staffing. They make all the decisions when they control the budget.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't just about balance sheets. Let's be clear. It's about control. Baton Rouge sees an opportunity to embarrass a Democratic city government and tighten its grip over the only major urban hub in Louisiana that does not vote red. And unfortunately, we have paved the way for them to do that based upon our inability to manage our own finances.
Open the door and say, come on in.
Basically, we did.
Make yourself at home.
So if this is really a very dangerous situation, and you can see that, under the constraints we find ourselves with the federal government no longer giving a lot of funds to the states, trickling down to the cities, and then us putting ourselves in this financial pickle, we have really laid the framework for this.
Mm-hmm.
And other democratic cities within this red state may find themselves also being threatened with fiscal control.
Now, the other thing too that I wanted to add to that is that we've been talking about these democratic cities that have urban leadership or African American leadership. We have seen now, and I don't know if we'd really considered this, but what we have seen is the trifecta happen: Shreveport, Baton Rouge. They have no control anymore. We have what is it? They call him Coach. He's the new mayor, and here comes New Orleans.
Right. And we also see, and I don't think it's a coincidence, a poll come out at the same time
Most
saying New
dangerous city?
Orleans is the most dangerous city in the nation,
Mm-hmm.
with Baton Rouge being number 3. I mean, all of these things are coming out, and I don't think it's just a coincidence. I think they're trying to set the framework for state takeover.
All right, you got a telephone call, Mr. Bill.
Good afternoon,
How you doing?
Counselor and G.
What's going on?
First of all, Counselor, your family member doing better. I understand you had.
I did. My mother is doing better, but she's still struggling with a heart condition and trying to overcome it. So, we have been spending much more time than we'd like in hospitals lately. But thank you for asking. She is doing better, and she's looking forward to the holidays. And so hopefully, we can stay out the hospital and enjoy that time with family.
Take care of the elderly.
Absolutely.
Something I've had on my mind for a period of time, with everything else still happening. As far as the Supreme Court is concerned, when they accept a case, deliberate on it, do you know if at some point do they get into a conference room and discuss their various opinions together, or do they just sit in their own offices and and their situation?
I don't really know how it works at the U.S. Supreme Court, but I can tell you on a state Supreme Court level, they typically review these cases on their own individually, and they do have a conference on all the cases that are going to be on the docket that day, and they do discuss with who's going to be the writer, who's going to take the lead in questioning. They do discuss those things. They confer on that so that when they come out, it's a very organized, orderly process. I would assume that the same thing goes on at the Supreme Court level. But there's always a writer designated. And you can pretty much tell when you're the lawyer arguing in front of them who the writer is, because the writer tends to guide the argument and ask the most questions, with the other judges asking a question here or there. And the writer really makes a difference because they bring their own kind of slant to it.
And that person could also write. Well, no, because they find somebody else to write the dissent. Then, correct?
Oh, well, if you don't agree with the majority opinion, then you can write your own dissent. And if you do agree with the majority opinion, but you think there's something that needs to be drilled down on more, then you write a concurrence. I agree with the opinion, but I want to highlight this, or I want to add this. I want to put emphasis on this issue. So that's where we get, a dissent and a concurrence.
I see. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that conference room.
But Mr. Bill, I do think that that it's just not up to the lawyer or the judge to write in the court of law. I think that every American, anybody that's listening to us right now, I think that we have an obligation to write our feelings and what we think about these different issues that's happening, and send them into your nearest newspaper. Send them into your nearest data board. Put them up on social media, because I write them all the time. I write them all the time. When I call you, when y'all listening to the show, and I'll be like, "Oh, I got commentary." When you're listening to somebody like Norman, Norman is a voice, of course, for our community, but he writes his too. I wouldn't be against people writing, how they really feel about these issues. We should be writing issues that should be published somewhere. and that's what commentary is all about. And then that's why you see on television
Socialism.
when I know they do it on Channel 6, and it says at the end of it, their disclaimer is, if you don't agree or you do agree, please feel free to write us and let us know.
But let me tell you this too: the United States Supreme Court's acceptance rate on cases is very low. The court receives 7,000 to 8,000 petitions for writs of certiorari each term
For
as a
years.
request to review a lower court decision, and it typically only grants review to 60 or 80 cases.
It's writs of
Okay,
what?
it's called a writ of certiorari. It's a
I
petition
thought you
to the
sneezed.
court. But look,
God
but
bless you,
think
baby.
about that. Out of 7,000 to 8,000 petitions, only 60 to 80 cases actually get reviewed per term. That's 1% to 1.5% of every case that's filed with them. So you got to think about that. And the U.S. Supreme Court typically only reviews cases where there's a conflict between federal appellate courts, like splits in the circuit, where you might get circuits 1, 3, and 5 ruling one way and 2 and 4 ruling another way. They like to resolve conflicts. They also address major constitutional questions. They love to take up education issues and religion issues. And it usually involves a significant national issue or federal law interpretation. They don't typically take up a case unless it's going to have a nationwide impact. So it's a very interesting place to practice. And there's only like 2 or 3% of lawyers in the country that are admitted to practice before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Now let's make it clear, you can though, right?
Yes, I'm admitted to practice before the U.S. Supreme Court.
And that's not just anybody that's an attorney that can walk up in the courtroom and say, I need to be on the Supreme Court debate.
No, you have to file a application to be a member of the Supreme Court bar, and you have to be thoroughly vetted, and you need to have letters of recommendation from other members of the Supreme Court bar in order to be admitted there.
And you are.
Yes.
All right, big time.
Well,
All right,
with
Mr.
this
Bill.
current Supreme Court and with the current administration,
Mm-hmm.
everything seems to be so damn bleak to me right now.
Oh, I saw this coming 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and started talking about it on this station 3 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
when they were stacking federal court judges, practicing in federal court became much more difficult for people of color. And
Seems like
I could
right
see,
now.
yes, I could see that move happening, 3-4 years ago, and it's just progressively gotten worse. I'm actually, I'm as a practicing attorney, I'm very ashamed of the positions that our U.S. Supreme Court is taking at this time.
Yeah.
It is
Exactly.
very unbalanced. It seems to just be another extension
Of the Conservative Party.
of the Conservative Party.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer have 3 separate and distinct independent branches of government. It seems to all be one conservative Republican government.
Every now and then it seems like from time to time, our only hope may be, like I said, every now and then would be call me Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Lean in this direction. G, right quick.
Mhm.
Election coming up.
Yes, sir.
There are 3 propositions and 2 amendments.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them are very lengthy. I'm not going to even bother trying to read this crap.
You're talking about the
So,
bond issues?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
One is for
I-
affordable housing. The other one is improvements to infrastructure. And then the other one is for the stormwater management. That's 50
just give
million.
me
The
just-
bond issue for the improvements is 415 million, and the one for the affordable housing is 45 million. Now, what I will tell you this much, without getting into it right now, because I know it's pretty lengthy,
yeah.
is that there will be no extra or new taxes. This is probably more than anything else a renewal.
I see. Okay, I want to get the date that you would discuss these things fully, because I'm not gonna read this crap.
He wants to
Man.
know when you're going to read it
You want-
and when you're going to talk about it.
Wait a minute, Mr.
Yeah, I
Bill.
want to hear what you and the listeners have to
You-
say.
you-
Give him
you-
an
you-
assignment.
you-
Give him
you-
an
He
assignment.
cleaned it up
Yeah.
really good. He cleaned it
look.
up good. Well, I want to know what everybody else is going to say. Mr. Bill want me to read it and see what we're going to say.
Right. So I guess we'll have to do that show on a Friday.
Yeah. We're
Very
going to do
good,
that.
very
We'll do that Friday then, all right?
I'll be looking forward to it.
All right. Get in there.
And,
Get to
All right,
work,
Mr. Bill.
Gerard.
Man, thank you very much, sir.
thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
They gave us new homework.
Look, I like
Joe.
when they give us a topic they want us to talk about.
What you say, Pop?
Hey, G-Man, Attorney Becknarius.
How you doing?
G-Man, I want to ask a question.
Hmm?
The last 3 days, I've been trying to call the station, and I haven't been able to get in.
Okay.
Am I barred from calling the station?
Not
For
that I
some
know of. I
reason?
know you tried to call yesterday, but you called when we were going off the air.
Well, I called the last 3 days. I've been calling, and I haven't been able to get in.
Wait a minute, that was Justin. I'm gonna tell Justin because Justin barred you from calling in altogether. That's him.
Now, why would you joke like that? Because you know he's going to take you serious.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, I mean, it's every time I call, they keep me on for waiting for about a half an hour. They have about two.
And Pop, let me go ahead and cut you off and just basically tell you when we got people in front of you and they're talking, it's gonna take time.
Look,
We just
I've been
can't cut
calling.
them off.
G-Man, I don't need you to explain that to me.
Evidently, you
I've
do
been
because
calling
you're really
long
having
enough.
an
I've
issue
been
with it right
listening
now.
long enough.
So what did you want
But
to
I
tell
mean,
us,
when-
Pop? What did you want to tell
Look,
us?
when I call the station, look, I know all the rules. I wait half an hour. They have breaks, and then I have another break, and they have guests, and I'll be waiting a half an hour. And next thing I know, the person going off. I waited for you yesterday,
Yeah, you called me right in the
and
middle of
it
the interview.
happened about 3 days in a row.
Pop, I really can't make up the stuff that you're talking about right now because when you call in an interview, I'm not going to cut off my interview just so I can answer other telephone
Pop,
calls.
is there something you would like to
Look,
share with us
I
today?
may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm not a dummy either.
Nobody called you that except you.
Would you
All
like
right,
to share
I'm not,
something
but I
with
know
us?
I've been listening long enough to know when I sit on the phone and wait sometime a half an hour.
Okay. Did you have anything
The
that you wanted
gas?
to talk about today since we answered the phone?
No, I just wanted to ask that question.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
thank you for
Pop.
Pop,
calling,
Alright.
Pop.
Pop.
That's
You call,
okay. I
call,
mean,
call
all
back.
right.
Call when you call
I've been
Monday.
calling forever and a day, but I just wanted to know whether if I was bored from calling for some reason or something, I did something, said something wrong. You know me, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but sometimes you could say things maybe that can. I ain't gonna even go there, but
Hey,
Thanks for
Pop,
calling, Pop.
Pop,
Have
Pop.
a good
You,
weekend.
And
you,
let me tell you-
Pop. You can call anytime you want. When you call Monday, I'm about to send everybody a message right now. I'm gonna make sure they put you on Monday.
Oh, don't put yourself in that. Why you gonna put yourself in that for?
Y'all heard what I said? Make sure you get put on
Yeah.
Monday.
Me no speak no English.
yeah,
Pop, ain't nothing
see,
wrong.
sometimes I just call and
Why you
say
kept going?
I'm gonna follow up the great John Lewis. If you see something, you say something.
All right.
And
We
I
got you.
always thought it was you talk, so I
You gotta
say,
go
I
back.
just say what I see.
Yeah. I understand.
You know
That's
what
not
I'm
the
saying?
case.
I don't, you know what I mean? Now, if I'm offending someone, I
Bob,
think,
you have not offended anybody. Sometimes stuff happens and it ain't that way that you look at it.
Thanks
okay?
for calling,
I
Pop.
got to go to break
Have
now.
a great weekend.
All right.
okay, all right, y'all have a blessed one.
You too.
You too.
You ain't start the music yet? You ain't start the music? You ain't start the music yet? All right. More coming up, folks. Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Tremay, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
517 Bunny Road is the place to be. Now those kids was eating pastries.
Late night and still hungry? We've got you. Strong drinks, old school jams, and plates that hit every time. From breakfast classics to flavors that feel like home. Cool vibes, fast service, and the party doesn't stop till you do. This Saturday night, we're keeping it live till 2 a.m. Pull up to 2517 Bayou Road. Nano's is the place to be. Good food, good music, good people. Come hungry, leave happy. You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree. Start a new one. On your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks. Welcome back. Well, welcome back. I can't send it to you. You know what?
Straight ahead. Focus straight ahead.
All right. Well, welcome
Don't
back.
show me nothing on your phone while we on this radio.
504-582-9422 is the number. What you say, Mr. Buddy?
Hey, good afternoon. I've been waiting all week to talk to you, see that?
Yeah, he been,
How you doing? It's good to talk to
he
you
been
again.
throwing me under the bus. He been throwing me off. I can't wait till Suzette get there.
He does not throw you
That's
over
right.
the bus.
He said that's right.
But
so
I'm
you know
happy
he's-
that you're calling in.
Mhm.
Okay.
You always bring
One
an
thing,
interesting perspective.
I hope your mother gets better.
Thank you.
Oh, that's how you hit me now. So he tried
Well,
to
you
make
probably
me
have
quiet.
you have all three daughters married.
I have
Now-
2 married and 1 getting married in March. So my last fiscal responsibility is in March.
I want to just give you some defense about that.
Okay.
When you have your daughters at the Thanksgiving table, probably, and the subject of weddings comes up, and Emil reaches to his wallet or feels pain as his weddings are discussed, and you and your daughters are having a great time discussing weddings, just kindly remind him that biologically this is all his fault.
Absolutely. 3 girls, all on him, not on me. Absolutely.
And sleep.
He never met
Look,
Emil. He never
He's,
met
he,
him.
Emil is very excited. This is the last wedding. And, you know,
I'll
I
bet.
know that he's excited because he's basically said, do whatever you're going to do. He's not even asking questions. You're just paying bills as they come.
I hope you teach Gerard the difference between malfeasance and misfeasance because he's been screaming malfeasance for the overspending of the budget. And I looked it up definition wise, and I'm not a lawyer, but it seemed like it was misfeasance because nobody was enriching themselves. So, as
That
we
you
all
don't know.
live-
I don't.
You don't
I
know
can't
that.
say that. I
You don't
cannot
know
say
that.
that because
And
when
that's what I was trying to tell him. He don't know that.
You know, and you're gonna love this one, buddy, because I think when you are traveling the world on the city's dollar, when you know for 3 years you've known that the city is having a financial problem, you are benefiting yourselves. I think when
That's
you
true.
are hiring attorneys to attack your political foes
At
at
$800,000.
$800,000 without bringing that before the public, I think you
That's
also are
malfeasance.
benefiting yourself.
Right.
So I think
Okay.
we're dealing with both malfeasance and misfeasance. I think you're correct. Malfeasance is doing something illegal or wrong, like intentional wrongdoing, bribery, embezzlement, abuse of office. I think we had that. And I think we also had misfeasance, which is doing something lawful in a wrongful or careless way, mishandling a lawful duty, negligence or carelessness. I think we had that too. So I think we both had malfeasance and misfeasance, and I think we had nonfeasance. Nonfeasance is failure to act when required. Because to me, if the mayor and the city council knew that they had been overspending for 3 years, and they knew this was going to catch up to them,
Malfeasance.
that's nonfeasance, failure to act when required.
Mhm.
Okay? So we have a situation of malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance that has us all trying to figure out WTH
Mhm.
and what are we going to do next to get out of this hole?
So, Mr. Buddy,
But that's get out of the hole. But then you got
nah,
next
nah,
year,
boo boo to
remember
you.
that.
Mhm. He been telling me that all
But
week.
no, I think he's right. And I think, we're facing a national budgetary crisis as well as a local budgetary crisis. And to a certain extent, both of them are self-inflicted. And we've got to stop being so politicized that we can't come together to find solutions to these problems. We need a partner in Baton Rouge right now. We do not need someone to take us over. I need a partnership. I need someone who understands the benefit the city of New Orleans brings to the state financially and is willing to work with us for this $160 million shortfall, equal to 18% of the city's general fund that needs to be made up. Because the bottom line is there are 4,300 city workers at risk if we can't figure it out. There
That's
are
shortfall for the next 2 months. Then next year's budget, I'm interested to see what the real revenue estimate is, and they budget against expected revenues.
I'm waiting to see too. I'm very concerned, and I hope people understand the trickle down effect, and I think they're just starting to get it. So, because the city's budget is out of whack, because the federal government is shut down, now we have individual mom and pop businesses who are contractors with the city, contractors with the sheriff, contractors, with Hano, contractors with all these entities that are no longer getting paid and no longer getting business and getting their contracts to do business with those public entities revoked. So we're really seeing a trickle down effect now of malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance.
Nah, boo boo. Nah, that was the most,
All right. Y'all have a
proficient
great
type of
Friday.
conversation that we've had in a while. Just that one sentence.
Well, whenever I can be the thesaurus, I'm happy to do it.
All right,
All
Mr.
right.
Buddy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, we gotta hang that up. There you go. Whoops. There we go. All right. So I was thinking though, and this is what I was thinking. I was thinking we have looked at these situations, and I gotta bring this up again, and I'm gonna continuously say it because I don't think that something is right in this whole scenario of business of the city. Because this is what it is. It's business of the city. If we had to label it and put it in some type of, because they keep calling it a pyramid scheme or something of the sort. I'm looking at it and saying, no, I'm looking at this and calling it the business of the city. We don't know where this money has gone. But in that same budget that we're talking about, we added as a chapter of law enforcement for the city of New Orleans what we call the Inspector General. Heard him say anything?
No, but I think one of the leaks in the dam is going to have to have a very serious conversation with SMG, and I think it's called Legends now, that run the Dome and run the Smoothie King Center. Because a lot of this problem with the budget, for example, is overtime overruns.
Right.
So we budgeted $10 million for police overtime. Okay? But we spent $44 million.
Where you get the $10 million?
That's what we budgeted, and that's what we spent.
$47,000.
Well, my understanding is they budgeted $10 million for overtime, and they spent $44 million. I don't know.
$47,000, and that's why Aaron Kirkpatrick is saying, "How do you expect me to manage that? I can't manage that with all the different issues that we've had this year." And now she's coming back and saying, "If y'all are even saying that we need to cut the overtime, I'm more than likely gonna go over it anyway, and I don't really care what y'all say."
Well, here's the thing, though. Legends is making a ton of money
and not paying for security for overtime. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, so they have got to clamp down on that. We can't continue to provide police security and sheriff security for all of these concerts that are taking place, private concerts taking place at the Dome and the Smoothie King Center, and we're paying the bill for it as taxpayers.
Right.
And this is putting us in a hole. Somebody's got to do a better job of cutting these contracts between the city and Legends.
They're state contracts.
They're going to have to hire their own security.
So I broke down in one of my little commentaries, because this is something that I do know because of the fact that I've used those facilities before. And I know that back in the day, before other administrations, when you sit down with, it used to be SMG, and when you sit down and have those conversations with them, you find out the line items of issues that you're paying for in that building, and the things that you have to contract for the event. Meaning there's somebody that if you have speakers hanging from the top of the dome or from the rafters at the Smoothie King Center, there's a company that is contracted with those facilities that comes from Baton Rouge that has to, what they call, hang those, that they have to hang those speakers from the roof. And basically what it is, they come down, they do all the hooking on the floor and hit a button, and it raises the speakers to the roof. They get paid for that. And they in Baton Rouge. And they come down, they hang them, let them fly. That's what they call them. And then they keep on going. You got to have somebody that is contracted with those facilities to do staging. You can't just put any old stage in there. They have to have insurance, and they got a contract with the company. So all these extras that go along with this using of those facilities, you have to pay for. Why is security not included in that number? That's one of the most important things that you have to have, because of the fact that you have to have crowd control. Now, you have security as a security company, but do you have those police officers?
They've got to pay for that. It's come down to the fact that they are going to have to pay for the city's officers.
It should come off of the amount of money that you're making off of box office receipts. That should come out of those box office receipts.
Absolutely. I hope they are listening to this, because, it's the price we're paying for not doing good business. Okay. And we have got to be better stewards of the funding that we receive and how we handle that funding. In Louisiana alone, like I said, we're facing two crises: the national crisis and the local crisis. But we've got to figure out how we're going to overcome this.
Mhm.
I can't get my mind off of all these federal employees that have been furloughed. Now we have all these city employees being furloughed. We have layoffs over at the sheriff's office. We have layoffs where we're sitting at Xavier University. We have layoffs going on at Suno. They're keeping that quiet, but they're doing it. We have layoffs all over the place, and people are really hurting.
And they're really going to be hurting as of tomorrow because your SNAP benefits are over.
It's a lot, you know.
And they're saying that they have chosen that everybody in the state of Louisiana will get their SNAP benefits because they signed the executive order, except for 53,000 people. Who chose the 53,000?
Right.
Who made them say, not them, but them, them, elderly, people with some type of defect? Just because I look like I'm all right don't mean I don't have something wrong with my back.
Well, the bottom line here is city employees, as well as many federal employees, live paycheck to paycheck. That's the reality. And 67% of municipal workers earn less than $55,000 a year.
Right.
1 month payroll delay can push 2,000 or more households into delinquency on rent or mortgages. And federal workers at places like Michoud and Louis Armstrong Airport are already reported missing paychecks and having their benefits frozen. They're giving the employees at the airport $15 food vouchers.
Right.
And they have to use them in the airport.
Oh, really?
Have to use them with the vendors in the airport. $15 food vouchers. They've gotten 2 of them.
That's bubble gum.
Right.
Ain't nothing.
Right in the airport. If you
$15.
a coffee at the airport, okay?
You can't even park for
right.
$15.
Right. Food banks like Second Harvest report a 22% uptick in demand since the federal shutdown began. So this isn't just about numbers anymore. It's about human dignity. The people keeping the city running are being treated like collateral in a political chess game between Baton Rouge and Washington and the city. And, churches and nonprofits, I'm thanking you for stepping in, for feeding, for counseling, for helping people navigate unemployment systems that are jammed. But charity cannot replace government.
Mm-mm.
It cannot. And, it's time for the federal foolishness to end, okay? Because the money for SNAP is there.
So
they just don't want to release it.
Let me get your opinion on this one. Do you think that the Democrats are correct? I'm choosing now between the Democrats and the Republicans. Are the Democrats correct in not budging on this issue of health care?
Absolutely. Because you know why? I'll tell you why. Because a family of 4 making a combined income of $130,000 a year will now have to pay $16,000 a year in health insurance if the Democrats don't continue to fight that fight.
So there's a new national poll that is out. That new national poll is polling Democrats and Republicans, and the majority of those folks that are Republican and Democrat are saying that the Democrats are right.
The Democrats are right because we shouldn't have to choose between health care and food, health care and jobs. We should not have to choose, particularly when the money for SNAP has already been appropriated and is not supposed to freeze when there is a government shutdown. They took that language off the website because they didn't want us to realize that. But SNAP benefits are not supposed to be interrupted when the federal government is shut down. But, I'm really feeling for these federal employees. I have a lot of them who are friends of mine. And they have now been home for some 30 some odd days. They're being told they don't know when they're coming back, but they've also been told, and you better not apply for another job. Because the minute you apply for another job, they're letting you go. They're firing you. They're telling them you cannot post anything about this on social media. The minute they find out they're posting on social media, they're firing them. So, look at where these people are. They have no money coming in. They have no ability to know when they're going back to work, and these are real human beings. And a lot of them
Nothing on the board either. Is it doing the They came back.
It's dead, Howard Collins said.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? They all know. They all know. Now they're saying that Wick.
A secret Republican. Look, we're back on. But whenever these conversations seem to get hot, for whatever reason, it appears that the station gets hacked and we're off the air.
Yep.
But the bottom line is that people should not have to choose between health care and food. And these government workers deserve to be back on the job. SNAP is not supposed to be able to be stopped during a government shutdown. And right now, food is being politicized.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs are being politicized. And that shouldn't happen.
Yes, indeed. So do we have any idea on if they're going to be anywhere close to making a decision by the end of the day?
I haven't heard that. There's some people who are saying, don't be surprised if the president doesn't come on television tomorrow and act like he's the great savior, saying, oh, I'm going to put SNAP back on, I'm going to move forward, because he wants to look like he's on the right side of this. Clearly, this is a political issue, and they don't seem to care about using human beings as pawns.
Mm-hmm.
But when the federal government shuts down, we lose national stability. When the federal government shuts down, it affects state budgets. And when state budgets are impacted, they affect local budgets. And it just so happens that we're already bleeding out in New Orleans with our own self-inflicted budget crisis. So all of this is just piling on and creating a situation where, New Orleans just seems to be stuck.
I think we're going to fall into a depression, not a recession, but a depression. I think that a lot of folks are in a depressive type of mode because of all of this bad news that keeps happening to this state, not just this city, but this state. And I think we're adding on to it with, if nothing else, this state loves its games. It loves its football games. It loves its baseball games. It loves its games. And in the last couple of weeks,
it's about to impact Mardi Gras for you.
Well, shoot. Well, think about something before you even get to Mardi Gras. We still got Sugar Bowl. We got all these issues that happened in the beginning of January.
Right.
Even the new folks taking place. Well, we ain't even got past Bayou Classic. It's going to impact Bayou Classic.
Right. Who's going to be security at the Dome for Bayou Classic?
Not only that, we got parades. Who's going to be on the street making sure you're safe? They going because can't do no overtime with the police. Well, that's what they said anyway. But Grandma said, don't matter.
That Grandma.
Well, that's my love for her. She told me she could take me, right? Mm-hmm.
I bet she can too. I bet she can.
But she was like, I don't care. I'm not going to jeopardize the safety of New Orleanians.
Well, the safety of New Orleanians is going to be at risk, because I can tell you one thing for certain, one thing and two. But how do you say one thing for sure and two things for certain? People are not going to allow their children to starve.
Oh, they're going to do what they got to do.
So they're going to do what they got to do. And it's about to get wild, wild west-like in these streets.
Then Walmart said you got to go in.
No, Walmart's saying you cannot come in. Walmart is saying order your groceries online, and they're going to bring them to you at your car, because they're not having people come in acting a fool when their SNAP benefits don't work.
Run! Oh, look, did you see the guy on, what was he on? I think he was on Snapchat or either on TikTok. I think he was serious. And he was like, say, bro, I want to tell everybody, y'all need to let me know when y'all going to loot the stores. Because when you do, I might have to go to work or something. And I just need to know what's the time and what date we going to do it. He was serious.
Let me tell you, people are about to take it into their own hands. I already know this. And this is definitely going to affect mom and pop stores, okay? Because, a lot of people use their EBT card at these mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
So the mom and pop stores are going to take a financial hit when
They
people
don't know the
have
trickle-down
that money.
effect.
They don't understand the trickle-down
right,
effect.
right.
But you may be coming out of Rouse's with your basket and get jacked for your basket.
See, bro, I just need to know.
You may. I'm just telling you.
When we ride. Come on.
It's about to get real.
We got to ride. Bring your Schwagman bags and all the rest of it, because we going to the parking lot over there at the local grocery store. You drive, leave the door open, so when you see me jacking people for their carts, pull off. I'm going to catch up, and I'm going to jump in, and we going to eat tonight. We going to get everybody that got some beef, a couple of canned goods, and something to drink. We going to be all right.
Oh, that's real conversations going on somewhere. Yeah. I'm telling you. Real conversations.
We got to take the break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
The NAACP New Orleans branch invites you to our 2025 Freedom Fund Banquet and Awards Ceremony, a night to uplift and celebrate. Join us Saturday, November 1st from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Xavier University's Center Grand Ballroom. Through your support, dollars fund scholarships, youth programs, and vital community projects. It's keeping the struggle to preserve civil rights current and vigorous. For tickets and information, call 504-460-7765.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, we are back. All right, Ivy? Did we get it right? Is that Ivy? Ivy, you there?
I think you lost, Ivy.
Yeah, call me back. All right. So let's get back to that conversation. But I was saying, off air.
Yeah, I know. You planning with Pookie. Y'all going, get pork chops and sell them out the back of your car.
We got pork chops, not no pork. Pork chops. That's what they're going to be called. Poke chops. P-O-K-E
Just
chops.
so I know what I'm asking for when I approach.
Yeah, when you see that bag of meats and it look good to you and it's cold and it's just coming out of, those are not pork chops. Those are poke chops.
Well, we're going to all be looking
There's a
for
reason
something.
why you going to get them. That's why they called poke chops. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, all
Sugar
I can
Daddy
tell y'all
number one
is,
said
I
that.
think
Sugar
we're
Daddy
coming to a time. Yeah, Gerod is saying that there's going to be job openings for sugar daddies
That is.
come tomorrow when the
Oh.
SNAP benefits get cut
Don't
off.
worry about the kids eating babies. Don't worry about that carnation milk. Don't even worry about it. I got your casserole.
So you see opportunities for come up for brothers who are willing to
Who?
help out.
Who? What's
Well,
your
yeah,
name?
But let me just let you know, the brothers going to be starving too.
No, they're not.
Look,
It's the brothers that's going to be in the parking lot with you driving, jumping in the vehicle. Because we're the ones that went and took them things right out of the daggone grocery store. I just hope you got on your racing shoes because you need to drive like you ain't never drove before.
well, seriously, people need to be very careful with the holidays coming up. We are hitting daylight savings time. It is going to get darker earlier. And I do think we are going to have an uptick in crime, to be
Drive,
serious,
Suzette,
because
drive.
people are not going to allow their children to starve.
Drive, Suzette. Drive. Like you never drove before.
You make Look, I understand we making light of a serious situation because we have to, because it's so sad. But, SNAP is often the only consistent source of grocery money for working class and low income families. And what people aren't understanding is a lot of people who are on SNAP do work. They do have jobs. So, this is sad. I heard parents on social media yesterday who are now skipping meals to make sure their children are eating.
They don't know whether they are going to get their medicines
Correct.
or if they're going to throw something else out of the door before they get their kids. Because I heard the ladies talking about, it's Halloween and her kids want, these outfits for Halloween. And I think it's 4 of them.
Right.
And she's basically sitting in the car in the parking lot at the grocery store saying, I can't get these outfits because I can't afford the medicine and the food.
And the food, exactly. I mean, and think about it. For seniors and disabled individuals, they face dangerous trade-offs right now.
Mhm.
They're skipping meals to afford medication or utilities. I mean, this is very serious. Check on the elderly who live around you. Check on disabled people. They really relied upon these SNAP benefits. And without them, I don't know where they're going to turn. And I don't know if they're going to have the resources to be able to get transportation to get to a church in order to get food.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to be the keepers of our brothers and sisters in this time and make sure that the people around us are getting food.
So let's talk about that for a minute. Because I started to call Howard Casting, who is over the elderly administration here for the city, and ask him, look, if folks want to donate boxes of food, what would go in those boxes? Fruits, vegetables, meats, because you don't want to get a box of something and it sit there and it got perishable stuff. I mean, those things that need to go into somebody's refrigerator right now,
Right.
and you don't know who's going to get it, and you end up throwing that stuff away. So if we had to get a box, if everybody could get a box of food, they could afford it. What goes in that box? And then the other thing I was going to do is call the sheriff and ask, if we got the address of these folks, these elderly folks. I'll say elderly first. And got the address of some of these elderly folks that were recommended by Howard. Could we have the deputies to go drop them off?
I think we're going to have to, all of us, get into the food delivery service industry.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a food pantry that's right across the street from my office on Jackson Avenue, right across from 1929 Jackson Avenue. There's a food pantry. And we drop food off there regularly, and I see car after car of families pulling up to get food out of that food bank.
And I know they got one, and I was about to call. I think I did because my friend at CBS News talked to Rashida Ferdinand when Sankofa, because I know that they're busy because they even got a store right there off of Poland Avenue, going into the Lower Ninth Ward. So we can imagine what's getting ready to happen. Because whenever there's something that does happen on a national level or even on a state level, when it catches up to you, it's already happened. And then it takes a while to get back in place. So this is going to be some residual issues that's going to happen for the next couple of weeks.
Well, think about it. I did see this, and I do want to pass this on. Navy Federal does have a no-document loan that people who are furloughed can apply for right now. Now, that is a loan, okay?
You're
going to have to pay that back. But it may help you over the hump, and it's no documents required. You have to apply online. You cannot apply inside of Navy Federal for it, but it is helping a lot of people to get over this hump. I think this is at a time, we have Thanksgiving coming up. I think we all need to be dropping off some non-perishables to some sort of food bank to help out. With Christmas coming up, Emil and I last year literally took a 18-wheeler and donated $10,000 worth of toys to Zulu. I think that everybody's going to have to, maybe you can't do it on that scale, but everybody's going to have to help some families out this year, adopt a family, and help out with Christmas toys this year for some of these parents who have been out of work for months. It's time where you really do have to help your brother and your sister at this time.
So you know what I did? I got to tell you what I did. I told everybody that I was going to do this, but it's been a while, so I want to let everybody know I didn't forget. I did it. I've had the thing that I said I was going to do. I've had it now for a while. I was so impressed when we went to go see Girls Play Trumpet 2. The young ladies that are in Musician Village that have been trained to learn how to play trumpet. And I was so impressed when I went out there to go see them. I made a commitment that I was going to donate a brand new trumpet to them. I got the trumpet. The trumpet's at home. I'm just waiting for them to give me an interview so that I can present it to them on air. That's all. But I got the trumpet. And I think that those are the types of things that we got to start doing a little bit more of to these organizations that mean so much to us.
Absolutely. Look, you making money and having a good life means nothing if you're not giving back and helping some other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those that still have our jobs, we need to help those who do not. So just some options. Second Harvest Food Bank of Greater New Orleans is located at 700 Edwards Avenue in Harahan. Their phone number is 504-734-1322. Please, drop off some food there or go help to give out food there. The Broadmoor Improvement Association Food Pantry is at the Broadmoor Community Church at 2021 South Dupree Street in New Orleans. Their phone number is 504-309-9400. They give out food 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Wednesdays. The New Orleans Mission on Aretha Castle Haley. They daily serve hot meals to anyone in need. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They also provide shelter, clothing, and recovery programs. St. Peter Claver on 1923 St. Philip Street has a food pantry. You can drop off canned foods, groceries, and fresh produce is also distributed there weekly, so you can bring vegetables there. Corpus Christi Epiphany Catholic Church has a food pantry on St. Bernard Avenue. They give out food Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 1. They're serving residents in the 7th Ward and surrounding areas. Giving Hope Food Pantry is in New Orleans East, 13040 I-10 Service Road in the East. You can call them and get some help there too. So, there are several food pantries. Maybe we can put these on WBOK's website so that people can know where they can go to get food at a time like this or get clothing at a time like this. Things are going to get rough.
Yeah.
You're going to need help. You're going to need resources.
All right. Oh, really? Okay. I'm just laughing. Don't pay me no man. I'm not laughing at that. I'm not mad. All right, let me take Galloway. Galloway!
What's going on, Brother G?
You the man.
Oh, no, you the man. And how you doing today, Counselor?
I am doing well. I am blessed. How are you?
Oh, man, I got all three of my paychecks today. I can't complain.
You got all of them?
All three.
Oh,
I already told that woman, don't come back into my house until you bring a paycheck in here.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I got to lay the law down. It's holiday season.
I understand.
Y'all ain't going to come and get all this money up out of here.
I understand.
I see you try to go off the air today. Uh-huh.
Couple of times.
Listen, me, Pop Brown, and that monkey going to come down there and straighten y'all out now.
Come on, bring all that money. All that money.
No, the monkey, not no money. Monkey.
They ain't on the run. They ain't trying to get with us. They ain't on the run.
But look, y'all are talking great stuff today. And on Fridays, I go down to the local food bank and I always donate. I box up stuff for them people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to the store and I go get my medicine. That's a 12-pack of OE and a 40. The grocery stores are freaking out. You know why? They have to raise prices because they're not getting that SNAP money. That dummy up there in Pennsylvania, in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, doesn't know what he's doing. He's hurting businesses. Poor people that are working people spend money with these grocery stores. Now they got to compensate. Everything is going up $2, $3. A lot of stores. You're correct about Walmart. They're telling you order online, and if you look online compared to what's in the store, you're gonna spend more money ordering online, and then you got to pay for this fee, service fee, or if they get them delivered, you got to pay for a delivery fee, and then you got to pay for a tip also. He is really screwing this economy up. Also, about the takeover with I don't know what's going on with Jeff Landry. You know, he wants to be the head football coach at LSU. Yep. He wants to be the governor of New Orleans, the governor of Baton Rouge, the governor of Shreveport,
and the governor of LSU.
And the governor of LSU.
And Loyola, he's hot with student government over there because they won't allow Turning Point to be on campus.
And listen, that was a democratic process. If the students voted no, that means no, you can't go. Plain and simple. That's their money that they paying on their tuition. These people are losing their mind. But this is what they call it's called a reverse migration. We talked about this during the CBC, where you have a lot of conservatives, mainly in the South, that are governors, and they're abusing their powers. They're going to cities that are non-majority black, your Atlantas, your New Orleans, your Baton Rouge, Houston, Dallas, Texas, and so on. And they're trying to take over these cities, and some of them, they're doing it. Right now in Houston is not in control of their school district anymore. It's ran by the state. They will use like a school with failing grades. That way the state will come take over. Like New Orleans, the finances is messed up. The state will take over. They're not doing this to help. They're doing this to hurt, to run. And I'm not afraid to say this. They want to run black people out. People better start waking up. And if you got to get off your behind and go vote. 40% of voter turnout is not going to help you do anything. And folks are saying, oh, if they had the votes, it'd still be the same. No, it's not. One thing I want you to take from me, when I was up at the CBC, when I was hanging around the DMV, that's D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, you'll be shocked of how some of your politicians are up in D.C., buddy with them conservative MAGA people. It'll shock you. So what I'm getting at, some in your local government, they might have a D in front of their name. They ain't no different than a district. They might be there working.
I think we all need to send messages to our city council members that they need to dig in hard and fight this fiscal takeover. Because once you allow them to come and take over, it erodes local control. And, you know, it's going to shift budget and operational decisions away from the elected people that we voted for or that were voted for in New Orleans to state-appointed administrators in Baton Rouge who do not care about our culture, who do not care about the fabric of our city, and there is no timeline on when we would get our city back. We already saw what happens when the state takes over control. It took over control of our school district post-Katrina.
And it still is to me.
And they still have control. And now they've made all these charters. I'm telling you, we have got to be very vocal. We do not want a Baton Rouge takeover of New Orleans.
And I cannot disagree with you. You are so right. But I want to leave you with this. I see Granny Clampett was on TV talking about overtime. Tell Granny Clampett I will come down there and put my overtime card in, and then I'm going to go back up here to Austin and so I can do some drag racing. Like, you have a good one. Y'all have a safe weekend. I'm up out of here, G.
All right, Galloway. Yes, indeed. Hey, Ron.
What's going on, man?
What's happening with you?
Oh, man, one day at a time, you dig? First, shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable as well as the Hill P. Newton Gun Club. How you doing, Counselor? The Attorney Extraordinaire.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Look, we gotta and I hear what everybody is saying like that, but we gotta start paying attention to the signs and the writing that's on the wall. I've been listening all week. I just came back off vacation and I've been listening, but I haven't heard nobody really been talking about this money that the Orange Man gave Argentina. You know, when we take a trip back down memory lane, a lot of the people that escaped Germany, them Nazis that escaped Germany, you know, Argentina and Bolivia is the places where they went at. And if you look at the history of Argentina as well as Bolivia, Argentina itself is the capital of white supremacy. So it was a strategic reason why he gave that money. Is why he going around saying make Argentina great again. So when you take and look at all the black offices the black people that holds prominent offices who he is stripping away and blaming it on, you know, this, that, and the third. You know, that's a direct correlation on what's going on in Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and soon to come right here in New Orleans. I believe that this Orange Man and everybody, the followers of him, is the greatest thing that could have happened to our community. And the reason why I said it is because through their ignorance, it's going to force us to do what we need to do for us. Because, you know, too many times we get comfortable and complacent on waiting for other people to come into our communities and do for us what we got the power and the ability to do for ourselves, right? Before I get up out of here, November the 15th, we're gonna be giving the Fatherhood Roundtable will be hosting our annual turkey basket giveaway where we give away the turkey and all the fixings that go around. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take and sing you the flyer too. It's gonna be on Uptown,
right?
Because we changing locations from out the Lower Ninth Ward to Uptown. So yeah, man. So we just gotta do a better job, and also Sister Bagnaris, that was somehow you said that, you know, when people get money, you know, you're supposed to give back. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we're going to have to get back to, you know, families starting to, you know, get a big old house and we all put in together and, you know, we all come up like that. You know, we got to be the ones to change the mindset, change the narratives of our community. Because, I mean, like, see, the writing is on the wall. And these people show us time and time again how they think and how they feel about us. But we keep on waking up thinking that this devil is going to one day wake up and start treating us right. That ain't going to never happen, no matter how many concessions they give us. Because when you go to a football game, the concession stand is only to keep you full while you are at the game as like an appetizer. That's not to keep you, you know what I'm saying, full and satisfied. It's only a concession. That means something that's for a little while, not forever.
The same conversation with a 19-year-old client this week that got a big settlement, and I helped her buy her first double with it. And what I was trying to explain to her is own property, own real estate, don't blow your money, and also use the money you're getting from this real estate that we've now set you up with to start other businesses. It's very important that we're self-reliant. And I was explaining to her that, you know, these times we're in, I wake up feeling blessed that I own my own. I own my own business. Nobody can fire me. Nobody can censor my speech. Nobody's controlling my destiny but me. And this is an opportunity for self-reliance. It's an opportunity with 300,000 black women being pushed out of the corporate workforce to start their own. It's an opportunity with these city employees who are losing their jobs to start their own. You know, we may need to pool some community capital together to help others start new businesses. And we also need to support black business at a time like this. Support our own first at a time like this so their businesses don't go under. You know, this can be a time that pushes us to more self-reliance, and it can be an opportunity. You know, it's always been said that out of the Great Depression, millionaires were made because they saw the opportunity in the crisis. We are in a crisis nationally and locally, and it also does present opportunity. So you may want to think about crowdfunding. And, you know, we may need to start looking at black-owned banks like Hope Credit Union, Liberty Bank, and True Fund Financial to help fund some minority entrepreneurship at a time like this. We may need to start looking at crowdfunding and community bonds on platforms like MainVest and Honeycomb that lets small investors support Black businesses directly. And we may need to also start figuring out through the Black Chamber of Commerce who we should be spending our money with in this Christmas holiday, because Black business staying open should be our priority.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. And just remember, our community, you dig? The more the oyster suffer, the prettier the diamond, the prettier the pearl. You dig? The more the oyster suffer, the more pressure the oyster go through, it makes the pearl more better. So we got to be that oyster. The more pressure that's produced when it comes to our we, it opens up, like the sister was just saying, more opportunities for us to get ahead, because self-determination is the key. All right, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I'll see y'all at the
All
round
right,
table,
hey,
like
Ron.
Ramsey saying.
All right, my
Peace.
brother. Let me go to T-Bone.
Good evening. Happy Friday to all y'all over there.
Same to you, brother. What's happening?
Wish I could say I was surprised by all of this. But counselor, you know what y'all just said with Mr. Aaron. Hey, I know that some people voted thinking that that's what was going to happen with the Black community, that we was going to have to figure out new ways to relaunch a Black Wall Street and all that stuff. But I don't think everybody's prepared to muscle down for the worst before the best. And that's the thing with this, you know. You have the elderly, you have the disabled who were already struggling before these types of things came about, and now they're going to have it worse, you know, and we all got to pitch together to save those folks who can't save themselves. And it's ridiculous that it's gotten to this. And I want everybody within the sound of my voice, whether you voted for him or not for him, think about this a second. He just got a private jet from a foreign body. He just knocked down part of the White House for millions of dollars. He just jet trended to Asia and other parts that we don't know about on taxpayer dollars. Your taxpayer dollars. He is going to have a very nice Thanksgiving. 2 turkeys, all the fixings. He's going to have that ballroom up to show off that he wants to put his name on. While you can't get your diabetic medicine, your high blood pressure medicine, your loved ones can't get the meds they need, can't get basic food in their refrigerator. He is literally taking food out of your mouth. Okay. Are you really happy with that?
Look, I think it's been all over national news, all the money he's made and his family has made off their cryptocurrency while other people are suffering right now.
And still making.
Yeah, they're being enriched while other people are suffering. So right now, in the middle of all this political noise, the shutdowns, the budget battles, the finger pointing, one truth cannot be lost here, and that's the elderly and low-income people are at serious risk right now. A serious risk of dying of starvation in the midst of this crisis. So, you know, we need to be mindful of that. No one should go hungry. No one should be unseen because of someone else's power struggle. And we're going to have to step in as a community and check on our elders, donate to our local food pantries, support small neighborhood charities, and try to hold this city together.
And here's the other thing I don't want people to miss. He's still trying to push the narrative of a third term. Do you really think he deserves one at this point? Honestly, what in what way has he benefited you and your family to deserve a third term, an unprecedented, unconstitutional third term?
Look, I don't think he won this term. I'm going to go to my grave saying he did not win this election. Okay?
I don't think he did. I think they gerrymandered the hell out of him.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
don't think he won this election. And I don't think he's going to win the next one either. But I do think he has no plans of leaving the White House. If he had plans of leaving the White House, he would not be building a ballroom in a bunker. What he's really building is a bunker. Because let's talk about it. There are defense contractors, okay, that are building this new structure at the White House. This is not a ballroom. This is a bunker.
A dictator move. A dictator move.
You
We're
all
gonna
do
talk
know
about
who
that.
is the contractor that's building this?
Yeah.
That's a.
It's a military defense contractor. This is not just a construction company building a ballroom, okay? This is a military-grade defense contractor building whatever it is he is building at the White House right now.
But the White House already has that bunker.
I know, but it's something else going on over there. They're not giving any plans out. They didn't get it approved by anybody. I don't know what he's doing over there at the White House, but he has no plans of leaving it.
He plans on locking himself up in there with a bunch of men in case the natives finally get restless enough to want to yank him out of there. Because he knows the only way dictators get removed is by force.
I think that's what he's preparing for.
Somebody realize what I'm saying. Please look this up. Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, Rasputin, others that are throughout our history had to be removed by military force. If you let him dig in, like we're talking about, that's what's going to happen to this country. And I don't know why people don't see this.
Yeah, no, clearly,
himself up for it.
Clearly, he's setting himself up to be insulated in whatever he is building over there at the White House. But I guarantee you, I have a property. My office is in a historic district. I can't change anything on my property without getting a permit. This man got no permit, no permission, no authority from anybody to tear down the people's house.
There ain't nobody saying that.
And you know why? Because he deregulated anything and anybody that could stand in his way. The same way he basically weeded out his cabinet this time. I told somebody this earlier. Before he had people in place that told him, sir, this doesn't make sense. You cannot do this. Sir, we're America. We don't do that sort of thing, sir. We don't really need a military-style parade, sir. We're the greatest military force of on the planet. Sir, you can't send the National Guard into U.S. cities and police U.S. cities. You can't send the military in. You had people talking sense, people that were traditional conservatives that were in his cabinet that were the safeguards to the crap that we're seeing now. But now, it's feast or famine.
All right, T-Bone. We got to take our break. But you're right.
All right, y'all. Have a good weekend.
You too,
You
brother.
made some great points.
All right, more coming up, y'all. We got more telephone calls coming up.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Virginia teacher Abby Zwerner, who was shot by her 6-year-old student, testified in her $40 million lawsuit against Black former assistant principal Ebony Parker.
It's obvious I thought I was dying. I thought I had died. I thought I was either on my way to heaven or in heaven.
Zwerner says Parker ignored warnings a 6-year-old student had a gun before shooting her. Radio personality Charlemagne the God of The Breakfast Club slammed Democrats on The Daily Show, saying they lack leaders who meet the moment. He mocked Hakeem Jeffries' delivery and urged the party to tap into public demand for real change. And boxer Gervonta Davis is being sued by ex-girlfriend Courtney Russell, who accuses him of dragging and assaulting her at a Miami club. The suit cites past abuse and seeks damages and a jury trial. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Electric vehicles are gaining in popularity, but some people are still holding out because of range anxiety, the fear that you could end up stranded with no place to charge your car. And that fear is multiplied for big companies and could be what's stopping them from electrifying their fleets. Enter SparkCharge. It's a company founded by Joshua Aviv that bridges the gap between the existing electrical grid and the needs of a big company with an electrified fleet.
What we realize is that fleets, they'll incorporate 50 cars, they'll incorporate 20 cars, but then they'll have the issue of going to the grid and saying, hey, we want to get these cars electrified, but the grid can't handle the demand of all these vehicles. And so we show up, we get them up and going with our mobile battery chargers, which means they're charging from a giant battery connected to charging stations, and then they're able to get up and running a lot quicker.
Aviv is a young black entrepreneur who founded SparkCharge from his college dorm and now can tout Mark Cuban as a major investor. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Lowe's knows you want to spend less time shopping and more time on the job site. Bulk savings on trusted brands means big savings and more time on the job. Get up to 25% off select drywall when you buy in bulk. Buy more and save to make sure you're prepared for any job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Treme, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Don't forget, coming up. Well, no, they Monday, they Tuesday through Thursday. So Carrie's not going to be here today, and neither is Arnie. So, but everybody want to talk to Carrie because Carrie Grant was the guy that did all the budgeting for the city in the first place. Yeah, Carrie Grant was the man. Carrie Grant, you could ask Carrie
Well, he should have known for the last 3 years that we were running over budget. So everybody should be calling in on that line.
He's not here. He's not there no more. He retired.
Right, but he's here.
He's here.
So why are people not blowing up the phone here asking those questions?
They are.
Oh,
but the city council ain't. So I'm asking them, how come y'all ain't called Carrie? Ain't nobody called Carrie from the city council except Oliver. Nobody else called him. So guess whose show he been on? Been on the morning show, and he been here. He was here yesterday. And he knows where the bones are buried.
There's a lot of faults to spread around. Clearly the mayor is saying she knew for the last 3 years they were over budget, and she told the city council this 6 months before the election. So clearly she knew. Clearly, the city council knew they were running over budget for the last 3 years, and our mayor-elect was one of the leaders of the city council.
But they
So
pulled. No,
they
no, no.
knew.
I don't know if the mayor knew that at all. Did she say that? Because from what I understand, and I think we
They
have that
had
as
to
far.
know they were
No,
over budget.
she depended upon Gilbert Montano.
Oh, come on.
And
I
Gilbert
don't
made
buy
the-
that.
I
I don't
do.
buy that.
I
Their
do.
responsibility is not only to pass the budget, but to make sure that the budget is being implemented properly. So there's
added
enough responsibility to go around here.
So supposedly they added, after they balanced this budget, $70 million more to it. And she even came in front of the council and said, I balanced this budget to the T. We had this thing to the T. But I think at some point, and that's why I keep saying, I really feel that they need to pull Gilbert Montano and bring him to the daggone dais and make him sit there.
But where is he living life large in Barbados with the city's money?
He got a $400,000 job working at Audubon.
Well, somebody needs to start asking some questions. We need
That's
some
what I'm
accountability.
trying to figure
here.
out. All right, let's get James. James.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening? I'm gonna be real quick. Aaron be stealing my thunder. Yes, all those are facts. Argentina was that drop off. You know, I got that Time Life World War II history book, and that was one of the alleged places. They even showed pictures of a compound that the U.S. thinks that they are in that book, in Time Life. Check it out. And then y'all both saying two different people. Y'all realize that, huh? I believe the esteemed lawyer said the mayor-elect, and I think you're talking about Miss Cantrell. The Mayor Cantrell.
I said the mayor-elect.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Y'all talking about two different people. And then, so I want to add something to what the great H said. Aaron said that fact about Argentina, but Google this. Check this out. The large beef exporting plants, the corporations that run those plants in Argentina are Americans. Watch out now. I'm gone.
All right, James. All right, Kevin.
Hey, man, thank y'all for talking about these issues. Unfortunately, we a day late or 3 years late and a couple $100 million short. Look, every time I call this radio station, it's the exact same thing. Unless we get together and use our heads, the citizens, now forget about all officials, because we see what that has gotten us. Okay, and if we don't, we're pretty much riding on the little yellow bus, school bus. Okay, we're slow. So the bottom line is this: until the citizens, because all the people we talk about were citizens. Okay, all the officials we talk about were citizens before they were officials, representatives supposedly. Until we start realizing we're all accountable for our best interests and start engaging the community that we live in, because it's going to determine the quality of our lives as we see. Look, we can talk about the people who came from Germany. We can talk about Trump. We can talk about all the Republicans and all the white folks' business we want to talk about. The bottom line is, if we don't start taking care of our home, because first of all, there's only about 10, 12, 13% of black people in the country, period. And of that 12%, we're pretty much hitting the bottom of the totem pole. So, and we've been here for like 400 plus years, and we've seen the history of it. And if we're not learning from there to eventually circle our wagon, basically we are spitting in the wind talking about all this stuff. Until, look, you know them by their works. Look, black folks have been around for a long time. We see ups and downs, changes in politics and circumstances. And the bottom line is this: if you don't see black folks on a good day in your community talking about these things that we talk about in crisis, trust me, They weren't there before this happened, and they won't be there after this stuff shakes out. What's happening is everybody's starting to see the chickens starting to come home to roost to them now. So it ain't a thin dime worth of difference between black black people who don't care about us and white people who don't care about us. Until the people who do care about us start using their head for hat and learn from history and realize if we don't get together and do this ourselves, not that we can do all this by ourselves, but we can do our level best to do the best we can with what we have to work with and use our brains and start studying together and start building think tanks and figure out how do we counter this madness that's been going on for hundreds of years. Look, we are wasting our time talking about all this history because we done lived it and we still repeating it over and over perpetually.
Well, look, I agree with you that we've seen this playbook before. When the state took over the schools, when the recovery school district turned public classrooms into a business model, when oversight turned into ownership, we saw how this all plays out. They seized our schools because they felt we couldn't manage them, and we never got them back. Okay? So let's be honest. When Baton Rouge says they want to help New Orleans manage its money, what they really mean is they want to manage New Orleans. They want to take it over. Bottom line
all I'm saying is that's recent history. That's recent. This playbook has been going on for hundreds of years.
I just said
we need to quit talking about this and start talking about us. Talking about what are we doing to make sure we counter whatever we may be revisiting in the future, because we will be revisiting in the future.
Right. But what I'm saying is, and I know you heard me say it because I know I hear myself saying it, is that after Katrina, we saw this playbook already. So we need to fight this state takeover. This is what we need to do. This is our charge right now. In this moment, we need to stand behind our city council who says they're going to fight this takeover with everything they have. Okay, and we need to make sure it does not occur, because once we surrender control of New Orleans to Baton Rouge, we will never get it back.
Well, first of all, we have no crystal ball to know what's going to happen. Clearly, because if we would have, we would have not had this.
Did we miss him? No. Oh, we missed him. Sorry about that one. Miss Jones?
Yes. No, you didn't miss me.
How you doing?
Hello to everybody.
Doing well. How are you?
Okay, pretty good. I'm going to be quick, too. Nationally, I could say this. Trump is a robot. I think it's an influence outside of this country because it was said many years ago, America is going to destroy within. This was said by Russia. We don't have to fire a shot. Dig into the history. Ask somebody who's older. You're right. Trump probably didn't really want that because he's running around like a mouse, doesn't know what to say, what he's doing, anything. It doesn't matter to him. And I guess the people see now they're crazier than what he is. I had given them more sense, but I'll give him more sense than I would give the people who follow him. And as far as the state is concerned, New Orleans was one time the capital, once or twice for a short time, of Louisiana. And I think they might be pushing to do that again. This is the money getter for the state.
It is, and they recognize that. And what they're trying to do is take ownership without our consent.
Exactly, and make it the capital again.
Correct.
And Donaldsonville, too, was for a short time. But this is what it's about. Now, Governor, he'll learn that Trump doesn't care for people like him, Cajun boy from the South. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. Just the way he'll think of him.
Well, I want the rest of the state to side with us and realize that today it's New Orleans, tomorrow it could be Baton Rouge, Shreveport, or Lafayette.
Exactly.
And if that sounds alarmist, remember, democracy doesn't die in one stroke. It fades through small, reasonable steps that people stop questioning.
Exactly.
So, we really need the rest of the state to stand with us in our autonomy as a city. Yes, we've made some mistakes with fiscal mismanagement. We acknowledge that. But what we need right now from Baton Rouge is a partnership, one that respects our autonomy, one that can help us find solutions to our problems, and help us to maintain transparency and accountability, but without a political overtone or
If
undertone.
we don't stand together, no matter what race, we're in bad shape. I'm going to say this. I used to listen to a radio 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, a minister by the name of R.G. Stair. He is deceased, and he died about 4 years ago, and he said, Americans, they had a World Bankers meeting, wait until they see their rights are being taken from them.
And it's about our rights. You know, every generation of New Orleanians has had to fight for its right to self-govern.
Exactly.
From Reconstruction to Katrina to today, someone has always tried to tell us that we're too broken, too poor, too black to run our own affairs.
And that's not so.
Right. And we're still standing and we're still creating and we're still leading. So let's be clear. We've made some fiscal mistakes, but surrendering self-rule is permanent. And once you give away your power, it takes decades to get it back.
Get it back, and you never get it all back.
Right. So this is
as
our
far
city.
as the situation now, our people are going to have to learn to stop being so wasteful. You know what they used to say years ago? Americans, always in a hurry. Americans, always so wasteful. We came up in a time, you would call me a war baby. So the adults at that time had hard times when they came back from the wars. They didn't have the jobs, job opportunity. You talking about racism, wasn't integrated. And people couldn't afford to be wasteful. And they have to stop it and just try to come together, take better care of your own health. Because when people started talking, they're going to take the Medicare, I could die, what do you think they intend to do?
Well, you're speaking from great wisdom and great experience. I was fortunate enough to have a great aunt who didn't die until she was 108.
Wow.
And one of the things, she used to come to my house and she used to always say, y'all are so wasteful.
Exactly.
And that's because, she'd see me throwing away a Ziploc bag and she'd say, you can wash that out. You can use that again. But the thing about it is, I think we have grown up in a situation now where everything comes at a touch of a button to us, and we have had more than our ancestors have had, and we do become wasteful. And I think you give a good message here today. This is a time.
Have to have some crash courses and not to be wasteful, and then sharing. Use with the barter system. If you have 2 tables, now I have 8 chairs. Why don't we make a swap, Suzette?
You're right.
Have a set, that concept. But it's going to have to be a change. Sober up. Take better care of your health with as much as you can. Because this man he's like a robot. I think he was put there by design. And to do all of this destruction, it's just a short time. It'll take 20 years or more if you wanted to get away and, regroup. And guess what? If they do that, well, this is our opportunity. We'll still keep other groups down. They don't stop. They really don't stop.
All right, Ms. Jones, we got to take these other calls. Let me get them in before we take a break here, but we appreciate you and have a good weekend.
She made
okay,
an
I'm going to see you up at your office, Suzette.
Okay, good to see you. You make an excellent point, though. We all are going to have to strap ourselves a little more tightly in and
get rid of waste.
And get rid of waste. We all are going to have to.
We're going to have to. We're gonna, really going to have to. This is it. So, and bless the food that we have. Bless it. And don't wait for Thanksgiving, because at Thanksgiving, I'll tell you about another time, that is not really the right way. They were celebrating the massacre of the Native Americans. That was the first one.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Okay. Talk with you all later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Elmore?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good.
Look, it's amazing what you're talking about, because I was listening to radio about 3 o'clock this morning, BBC, and they had a British economist. And boy, he couldn't say it any better. He said, what American people need to stand up and fight. And he said that, they have to understand the economy, and those corporate 500 companies that's very conservative, that support Trump, stop buying certain things.
beat them by their pocketbook. When they see that, they'll do something.
Well, I think we have been trying to do that recently, right? We did take a stand against Target. They did fail economically. They are, seeing it in their bottom line. But I think at this time, it's more about self-preservation. We need to put Black business first, and we need to support Black business because we're going to lose Black business. We're more likely to lose our businesses in this climate than people who can rely more so on traditional lending institutions.
But Black people have already been through. Well, I put it to you though, like the old saying goes: when America gets a cold, we usually get the pneumonia.
Right.
But I also say that when we don't have, we make a way.
We do make a way. We are resilient.
Yeah. So Black people may not be showing the emergency as much as everybody else. But, well, you know what? In this case, I think the Black people are showing their emergency hands. But the question is, can Black people, I think, will survive? But the number of people that are on SNAP that are more so in a category of not knowing what it feels like to lose something are white people.
Oh, you ought to see it. They are crying all over TikTok. They're saying, I didn't vote for this. I voted for him, but I didn't expect this. And I've lost my SNAP. And how am I supposed to eat?
More white people are on SNAP.
Oh, absolutely. They are all
Black.
having buyer's remorse on social media right now.
Right.
Well, Gerard, could I say one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Could I say one more thing?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. What I wanted to say is that white folks truly are protesting because they see the damage Trump has done, and they didn't have the understanding that people knew what he meant, what he said, and he said what he's going to do. But if white folks take it to another level, including us, protesting, stop buying. I mean, certain Fortune 500 companies, the phones and all the stuff we buying from corporate America, stop buying them, and they're gonna wake up. They're gonna have to tell corporate America, tell Trump, look, man, you're doing it too far because consumers is not buying our products.
Yeah. No, you make a good point.
I don't know if that makes sense or not.
It does. You make a good point.
America that's gonna have to tell them that.
Yeah, But I think they're all feeling it right now. We are headed to an economic recession.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, we're not headed to it. We're in it.
We're in it.
We are in an economic recession. Sarah Jakes Roberts said something on Sunday that rang true with me. She said, we keep saying when it gets back to normal, when things turn back to normal. Things are not going back to the way they were prior to this Trump administration. We are living in the new normal. The question is, how are we going to adjust to the new normal? How are we going to survive and continue to thrive in the new normal?
But I do think
this is where we are.
I do think that you got to be able to look at what that new normal is compared to what the association of the CEOs and that corporate business has with the president of the United States. It's just like me looking at Amazon. Amazon has the biggest corporation and part of the biggest, I would say, stock market price that you can think of. You don't need no more. But you're still greedy enough to say, I'm a fire, 10,000?
Yeah, they fired a bunch of people this
week. To
week.
replace them with AI.
Right.
But how come there's going to be a regulation with AI in the movie industry, but there should be a regulation with AI in corporate business too? Because only thing we're going to see is more corporations follow suit.
Yeah.
But yet, guess who provided a lot of money to go toward that big old ballroom?
Amazon.
Ding.
They were one of the major contributors for the new White House wing.
Before they made the announcement that they were going to let 10,000 people go. Yeah. Because of the fact that they want to get slim and trim.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I know we starting to run short on time. I need you to put aside who you voted for in the last mayoral election. Okay.
Put it aside.
Yeah, I need you to put it aside, and I need us all right now to get on the same page with this thought.
Preach, sister, preach.
we are not going to get taken over by Baton Rouge.
Wow.
This is our city. It's our future. It's our responsibility to try to figure out a way out of our fiscal woes. Because if Baton Rouge wants to help, it can start by trusting the people who live in New Orleans and not replacing them.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to need y'all to get on the same page. We have a big battle ahead of us, and we need to be on the same page.
Well, why are we taking up tithes and offerings? We got to take a break. I'm sorry.
Y'all have no idea what I deal with on Friday. Put me on your prayer list. Put me on your prayer list.
We got.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. President Donald Trump is once again testing the limits of political norms, this time calling on Senate Republicans to invoke the so-called nuclear option and eliminate the filibuster to end the government shutdown. In a Truth Social post Thursday, Trump wrote, "The choice is clear. Initiate the nuclear option, get rid of the filibuster, and make America great again." Now, the filibuster, a procedural rule requiring 60 votes to advance most legislation, has long been seen as a safeguard for minority party rights. Without it, the majority could pass nearly any bill with just 51 votes. Trump argues that using this power will allow Republicans to bypass Democrats and restore federal operations, which have been partially halted since October 1st. But the move would come with political risk. Democrats fought to end the filibuster just 3 years ago to pass federal voting rights protections. If Republicans dismantle the rule, they could hand Democrats a powerful weapon the next time they're in control of the Senate. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Here's the latest episode of our political theater. Governor Jeff Landry, who fancies himself as a disciple to President Donald Trump, was smacked down a few days ago by the New Orleans City Council in his attempt to take over city finances. With the city of New Orleans facing a potentially devastating $160 million budget deficit, the City Council had requested that the State Bond Commission approve a bridge loan to cover the city payroll through the end of the year. Now, the loan wouldn't cost taxpayers or the state any money. The city would use existing revenues to repay the loan come January. In his argument against the loan, Governor Landry contends the city needs to learn a lesson to fix its own financial problem rather than rely on state-backed debt. The governor and the state attorney general, however, demanded that the city of New Orleans install a state-appointed fiscal administrator to run the city's finances in exchange for the loan. The city council says that will never happen and has now withdrawn its loan request approval from the Bond Commission. Critics accuse the governor of using the New Orleans financial crisis as a power grab to get his hands on city finances. And it should escape no one that the city of New Orleans accounts for 23% of the state of Louisiana's budget. Now imagine that revenue in the authoritarian hands of our wannabe authoritarian governor. Perhaps I'm overthinking the governor's intentions, but power grab or not, his position to oppose a sound fiscal request from the city council appears to be a jackass move to me. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. A few more minutes here before we get out. Last call, George. George.
Oh, man. How y'all doing?
All right, what's happening?
Okay, I called in for one purpose and one purpose only. Preach on, sister. Preach on. And I ain't caring about all them people who be on this Facebook supporting that woman. Won't talk about, oh, y'all got all the good. Y'all got to get on. Nah. Tell us what you were talking about. Finish your thought. And Gerard, you know we praying for you. And I'm always listening to WBOK, the Gerard G. Mangy Stevens. And when like Nares is on, I'm particularly paying attention. Because if I ain't listening to reality check on my radio, my cell phone next door at my neighbor house, wherever on my computer, and I'm going to miss out on all these black facts. I need to know. Bye. Finish your thought, sister.
I'm going to just hang up. That's all. Let's hang up. Don't even say bye.
I want to thank Mr. George for that commercial break.
That's every day. He do a commercial break.
He hypes y'all a lot better than anybody.
Yeah, he's a hype man.
You know, he almost should get paid for that kind of work, for that kind of effort, that kind of hype.
So, as we get ready to go, did I just cut that off? I did. Is this depressing? Are you depressed with this?
I have to say, I have to start limiting how much social media I take in each day, because watching these women all over the country, for the most part, crying, figuring out how they're going to make ends meet, how they're going to feed their children, skipping meals to feed their children, watching these grown men break down on social media because they were on the verge of retirement and now they've lost their job and they can't do what they think a man should do, which is provide for their family. And having it hit so close to home with some of my best friends getting the axe in the last week or so, when they've been so loyal to the people that they have served and the people that they worked for and been thrown out like yesterday's garbage. Yes, it is. I find it very depressing. I find it very depressing that this city I love has put itself into a situation where someone in Baton Rouge who does not share our culture, our thoughts, our politics can take over our finances and every decision from hiring to housing. That our community voices could be silenced because of malfeasance, misfeasance, and non-feasance. Yes, Gerard, I find it very depressing that people have to make a choice between healthcare and food. I find us in a place that I didn't think I'd see in my lifetime. With the grandchild on the way, I fear for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I'm still, you have to have faith and you have to remain hopeful. But at the same time, yes, it's very depressing to watch all this happen to good people. So many good people are being harmed for foolishness, for party line. I don't give a damn if you're a Republican or a Democrat at this point. We're American. We're New Orleanians. We're people from the state of Louisiana. I mean, I just don't understand how you can look humanity in the face and let it starve for a political agenda.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow is day one. We'll see. We'll see where the SNAP benefits issue comes through. Will that change? And then we'll see what else has to change as we get into November. This year is going by very fast. But as we get ready to get out of here, I want to tell everybody, especially on tonight, be careful. Look out for the kids because they're not going to be looking out for you. Mom, dad, auntie, whoever, if you're taking kids out tonight to do some trick-or-treating, make sure that their costume is going to be one of those that you can see when the lights of those cars hit them. Make sure you're looking out for those kids, too.
Look out for the elderly this week, y'all. Look out for family members. Check on your friends. People are depressed.
Yep.
And we need to let them know they're not alone and they are seen.
That's going to wrap things up for us. We appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. We will see you on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Happy Halloween and happy weekend.